This Week at the Farmers Market. I'm Mindy McCulley, County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Science here in Barron County. I'm delighted to share with you one of the great plated up Kentucky Proud recipes, Zippy Zucchini Cakes. Zucchini is one of the most prolific vegetables that you'll find in the garden, and it's often the butt of every garden joke because if you have enough zucchini to feed your family, then you probably have enough zucchini to feed your whole neighborhood. But stay with me as we look at this great plated up Kentucky Proud recipe, Zippy Zucchini Cakes, and you'll find a tasty way to use those prolific vegetables in ways that perhaps you've not thought of before. This recipe calls for 2 cups of shredded zucchini, and you can do that in your food processor, but it's very simple to just run it through your regular cheese grater and get all those little pieces of zucchini just nicely shredded up. I cut my zucchini onto a flexible cutting board so that then I can scoop it into my 2-cup bowl right from the board and get a nice, I'll know exactly then that I have got my 2 cups ready to go for this great recipe. This recipe also calls for 2 whole eggs and 1 egg white. If you don't have a separator, let me show you just a really simple method for separating the egg. You just crack your egg, and then when you pull off the top half, you let the yolk remain in the shell, and then you pour it back to the other half, and as you go back and forth and you get all of your white into your shell and you're ready to, into your bowl and you're ready to go. Now we're ready to put together the Zippy Zucchini Cakes. So our recipe calls for 2 cups of shredded zucchini. We're going to add that to our bowl. It also calls for 2 large eggs, so we'll add those to the bowl as well. And 1 egg white. And the reason you have 1 egg white as opposed to 3 whole eggs is to cut down on the fat just a little bit, because you do have about 5 grams of fat in each yolk of the egg. And that is a 1/4 cup of skim milk, and then 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So we're going to mix these together, and that will form a very nice wet mixture. So we have this nice wet mixture. We're just going to mix that together to make sure we get a good mix on the zucchini and the eggs, and of course the milk and olive oil. Now, Native Americans introduced the Europeans to zucchini, which is one of our summer squashes, because it was so easy to grow and provides a great nutrients that early American settlers needed, and so we learned to love this dish just as much as they did. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients to the zucchini mixture. So we have 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/3 cup of whole wheat flour. And the whole wheat flour just adds a little bit of extra fiber. And then also we have 2/3 cup of cornmeal. And please note that that is not cornmeal mixture, but cornmeal, which is the straight cornmeal with no added flour or leavening agents. 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Get all that in there. And 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of dill, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to mix those together, and then we'll be able to form the cakes then on the griddle. Okay, I have my griddle here just lightly greased. It is a non-stick griddle, but I did put just a little bit of olive oil on it just so that I'll get a nice golden crust on my zucchini cakes. And we're just gonna scoop these onto the griddle. Want to be about a 2-inch cake. I'm not always a very good judge of size, so it just depends on how much you scoop, how big your cakes turn out to be. So just try to be fairly uniform so that they'll cook at the same rate. And we're going to leave these on the griddle for about 3 to 4 minutes until the edges get brown. Okay, so we're going to flip these cakes. You can see they've got a nice crusty bottom. And then once again, we're going to let them cook about 2 to 3 more minutes on this side as well. Now, if you want to make your zucchini cakes have a little bit more zip, you can add some jalapeno. You can add crushed red pepper flakes. You can replace your mozzarella cheese with pepper jack cheese, and that would be a great way to make your zippy cakes have a little bit more zip. Thank you for joining me for this week at the farmer's market. And whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, you can plate it up with delicious recipes that put a new twist on your favorite Kentucky Proud produce.